Hello everyone, my name is Martin Wong. I'm a photographer here in Southern California, Los Angeles. I do a lot of photos, a lot of videos, and I just want to share my adventure on photography and videography, and also what it's like to be a content creator with photos and videos, which is kind of weird, you know? I always wanted to just do photos for fun, but nowadays I feel like I have to do the whole thing with the content creation as well. And with that come along, content creation, it comes to, content creator life. So let me give you a little behind the scene of what it's like with today's event. I just came back from a BandH Creator event, and let me show you guys. First of all, let me know guys, do you like this lighting better? Or if you like this better? Option 1, this side's brighter, Option 2, this side brighter. I feel like this is a little bit better if I have this side a bit brighter, because it kind of match having a bright over there, and then that light over there is kind of like creating an illusion of this orange headlight right here, I think. I don't know, I think this is a better than option 2. I think I do option 2 when I do unboxing. It makes light more equal, they're both kind of not it is bright, but not as bright compared to the contrast on this one, where it's this side's a bit more contrast, a bit more brighter than this side. This side's really dark, so it's kind of better. Anyway, that's not the point. This is not the point. This is a fun video because I just came back from a BandH Creator event. Shout out to BandH. I love this kind of event. It's always super fun. So I've done a few in the past, right? Last time that we did one, I believe it was in the art district, and it was like a circus theme. And the one before that was, I think it was also art district. And then they also have done one before that was more like a Savannah kind of style kind of theme. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. Every time I go to this kind of, let's back up a little bit. BandH hosts this kind of event every once in a while. They do that in New York, they do it in LA, and they might do it somewhere else too. Maybe Dallas or something, but I only do the one in LA since I don't want to fly out just for this event. I would love to, but I just don't have the budget to do that. So they do this kind of event, and they will invite a bunch of creators, all sort of creators, because every time I go to those events, I meet a lot of people. Obviously, a lot of photographers, a lot of videographers, but they also have a lot of models, a lot of creators in general that make all kinds of content. Like tonight, I met someone who does pickleball content, which is wild. But I also find out that I know her, or at least we know the same friends. So it's a really small circle. So everybody knows everybody kind of situation. It's a lot of fun, and I love it. When I first walk in, they give you a little baggie here. They have a bunch of stuff here. There's a hat, BandH hat, kind of great. And then, water bottles and a bunch of stuff, and also all the sponsor that's on here that's tell you. So this is where it gets interesting, the sponsors, because when I walk in, they have a bunch of different booths this time. This is called a night market theme this time. So this night market, they have Nan Light was there, Canon was there, Shrew, yeah, the microphone company is there, SanDisk was there, and they gave me a little card that has all the sponsor. They have all this creator here. They have all their Instagram or their TikTok handles here so that you can tag them, which is super smart, meaning, all this company have put in money or at least product into this kind of into this kind of event. So smart for them to do that. And, I don't see too many shop do that, online shop. Sorry, because I've done other physical shop in Burbank that do this kind of stuff. But other brand, big online seller, they don't really do as much of this. So this is also fun. I love this kind of events in general. But while I'm still so excited about the events, let me tell you a little bit about what had happened. First of all, I drove there. It was hot today. Today was high 80s, mid 70s. By the time I get there, this is a night event, a night market event. It started from 7, it ended at 10. So I just got back. It's 10:30 right now. And it was, hot. That's the first thing that's, come into mind. And driving there was traffic. This is LA, so finding parking was annoying, as one would conclude. Everybody know this. And it was fun. I'm just gonna look at my phone of all the clips that I got, so while it's still fresh in my mind as well too. So I got there. They have their, photo booth where you can take photos. And then you see all these different booth company that's there. I got this little green card that you can scratch, and I did scratch, and it say winner. So I did win something, but I feel like a lot of people also won. So I'm not the only person who won. And they have a bunch of prize to choose from, and I chose this one, which is 90s plus 2000 pop edition, a music pop quiz kind of thing. and which is kind of my jam. For those of you who don't know, my jam is usually, that's what I call music 2000, and I get make fun of it all the time, but you know what? I like those songs, you know, they're fun. That's how I learned English when I first came here. Beside the point, and the first thing I did is that I went to the Canon booth to borrow cameras. So every one of these events, they have a camera sponsor and usually a memory card sponsor. So this time it was Canon with SanDisk, okay? I only brought my phone with me because I didn't bring any camera because first of all, they're gonna have camera there. Second of all, I feel like it'd be kind of rude to bring my own camera of a different brand to go to events like this, so I didn't, but it was fine. So everything that you see from here are shot either on my iPhone or with the first camera that I borrowed. So I borrowed two cameras. The first camera I borrowed was the Canon EOS R50. The reason why I don't remember the name because I remember they say EOS R50, but on their logo it just say EOS RV, which is 5, but there's no 0, so it's R5, but they do already have an R5. So I don't know why it's called EOS RV on the camera. It's already R50 on it. Anyway, so I brought the camera. That camera is fun, and I think every single camera brand should make one of those cameras because it is portable, it's great for vlogging, and it's also a great way to introduce people to get into the, you know, the ecosystem that they have. So let's say if I am a college student or someone who's trying to get into vlogging or streaming or gaming, you know, I want to get a camera that's easy to use, very, very beginner friendly, very easy to record, easy to do a flip screen so you can see yourself to do vlogging. And once I get into that, and I'm like, oh, if I want to upgrade, I'm gonna still use, you know, EOS R lens. So what should I upgrade? And you gotta stick in the ecosystem. That's kind of why I'm in, you know, my ecosystem with my camera as well too. Once you're in one, you kind of stick with it. You can switch. It's just gonna be very costly. That's all. But anyway, so that's what I did. One thing I do really like about this camera is that they have a record button and a shutter button. It's the same button, and which I feel like most camera companies should have that. Like, there's no reason to make a dedicated recording button because you gotta switch mode between photography mode or video mode. A lot of camera I used before where you can still take photos during video mode, but like I wouldn't normally do that. I could just switch it instantly to photo mode, so I don't know why I would want that. So companies do this. Combine the photos and video record or shutter button as the same button, just one button, and you save out another key, add a button for something else. That's the first thing I noticed, really cool. However, as I said, it is a beginner camera, so it is a little bit less advanced, so there's not too many customization. Maybe I haven't got into it yet, but there's only so many strengths I can choose from. But I also didn't want to dwell on it for too long because I want to try out other cameras that they have. But I did do a little comparison between using the iPhone versus using the EOS R50. So you can take a look at this footage and tell me, you know, which one you like more. Like, do you think the iPhone is still better? Or you think that, oh, maybe I do like the, you know, Canon EOS R50 better? Or like, even though the iPhone could be better, I would love to have a dedicated camera for vlogging, for recording, and free up my iPhone for something else. So that's something to consider. Then I borrowed the EOS R5. Again, this is where it gets confusing because the EOS R5 does say R5 on it and the R50 say RV, which is silly. Naming system, that's a whole different video. I can make a whole video about every camera brand have problem with naming system. I'm gonna do that later. Don't get me started. Okay, so I borrowed the EOS R5, so then I can borrow the 50 f1.2 lens, which they also have the 85, but it was so crowded, so tight space, I decided to use the 50. And then what I did is that I go around to see, you know, anyone that I will, you know, able to get some photos with. And I do this every event. It's great for networking, it's great for meeting new people, and it's great to actually try the camera right on the spot, especially it's like very ad hoc situation where like I don't have a lot of light with me. I couldn't use borrowed lights. I don't have, you know, my perfect settings. So I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna try my best to see what I can do. And they of course have a memory card in it, so I can always take the camera photos back to my computer later to edit them, which you'll see in just a minute. So this first thing I did, I saw one of my friends because I met her last year at the same BandH event, and I have her as my first test subject. I'm so sorry that I'm blinding you with light. I'm sure you kind of hate me for it, as I realized while I was shooting it. Because again, it was so crowded. I still need to test out the camera, but I want someone to trial with. I didn't have any friend with me that comes to me, so I'm like, all right, can you help me, you know, get this shot? Again, I don't know what to do because it's so dark, and I did see the Nanite booth have some lighting there. At first, there's this really great soft light with a softbox, but some people were using it or they were checking it out, and they were checking it out for a long time, so I don't want to disrupt them. So instead, I had her crouch down a little bit in front of this spotlight, and this is the bright spotlight. It was meant to like shine across the building with the Nan light sign on it, but I have her like shine on her face to create this really cool, like, maybe really contrasty look. Hopefully it turns out good. Again, you'll see it right here. I haven't seen the photo yet, but you're gonna see it right here, so you can tell me, does it look cool or not? And then after that, I walk around to check out the Nan Lights booth, check out every single booth, and I, have to get different photos with different people. There's this one guy that I shot. There's some really cool flowers in the background, or they're kind of like plants, so I used it as a background. However, the light was horrible. The light was coming from up top, so I have him look up and look in the camera or look off camera, but at least have his head look up to really take advantage of, what kind of lighting I have. I don't want to bring him around to, get some better lighting, because like, what if it sucks? And what if like he's with his friends and they're not even supposed to be, they're not like a cosplayer at a convention, they're not expecting photos in the first place. So I don't want to really disrupt what they're doing, so I just borrow them for like 5 seconds, get some photos and get out, say thank you, that kind of thing. Another one I did was that I did find better light later. And when I say better lights, I mean there's a photo spot where they're shooting, just their BandH logo with, people who comes in. But I kind of borrowed that lighting situation, and I have my hand to check out the lighting there. There's some green lights in the background, and then I found a lovely lady. And I just asked her, hey, can I get some photos? And I did. So those photos might turn out better lighting-wise compared to most photos I took throughout the night. But I can't drag people through to the same spot every single time, and also I want some variety and also some challenges, so doesn't have to be the same. Anyway, so that's that. And then what else? Oh, and then I met his friend now. I don't think I met him before, but we definitely have a lot of mutual. The cosplay world is small. So Ben, he bought this cool rig, which is he's using a camera to record his other camera through the little chimney that you can see the viewfinder of like a film camera, and he record that as his video. I don't know, it was really, really cool. So, and he was having a blast. Like, everybody keep coming up to him and asking him questions about it. So Ben, that was really cool. Thanks for showing me that. That's about it. I am just rambling. I should make videos on rambling, but not for this one. I want to say again, shout out. Thank you a lot, BandH. This was fun. And then that's it. I want more companies doing events like this. That's all. That's just my goal. So thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one.